Welcome back to another episode of the Then and Now podcast. I'm your co-host, Captain Diesel, and I am back with the usual co-host, the Luch V, Professor E, King of the Comics. How are you guys doing, my brothers?
I'm okay. I'm talking about how Mappa is a sweatshop of animation. But
Yeah.
besides that, decent.
Yes,
Long
it
day
is.
at work,
Jesus.
but it
Yeah.
is what it is. Gotta get this
Yeah,
money.
yeah. He's not wrong. Mappa is a Mappa. There's like the correlation between the quality and the quality of animation and the quality of the way they treat their staff is like it's night and day. It is brutal. Speaking of brutal, I apologize to everyone because I am not Liv. Liv was a lot better on this show than I will ever be, but I will do my best. I will do my best.
Yeah, Liv filled
That
in
was
last
that
week.
was great.
It was
Let's not down the main co-host here. It's yeah. Let's not do that.
There's
Yes.
Liv and there's everybody else, but that's all right. We do our thing. I will do my best to fill in for Liv's big shoes.
Too humble, y'all. You're too humble. Today, y'all, it's going to be a fun one. We're continuing the Halloween theme of stuff since it's still October, and we're going to be talking about our favorite things in horror, but from 3 different mediums: comic books, video games, and movies. And we're going to start with comic books because I feel like it'd be the easiest to do as far as the things to discuss. So, that being said, who wants to start? Am I going to go start, or is it going to go to you guys?
You can start. I mean, you probably have the most. You probably read the most horror comics, probably.
Yeah, especially this past year. I've been reading a lot of horror stuff, mostly indie. So the book that I wanted to bring to everybody's attention and mention is one that I read recently that I planned at some point to do a video on, but just never did. Because I just algorithmically probably doesn't make sense. But it's called Lucky Devil. It's a Dark Horse Comics book, and it's a 5-issue series. So it's not a really long series either. It essentially is a story following a guy who is pretty much down in his luck. Like, think the opening credits for like Wanted and how bad McAvoy's character was in that movie, where he decided shitty girlfriend cheating on him, hated his drone life at work, all that bad shit, and he ends up getting the powers of a demon, like a relatively strong demon lord, because the demon possesses him. And I can't remember, I read this a couple months ago, so I can't remember how exactly the demon ends up taking a back seat to him, and he ends up just like stealing this demon's powers after a possession. Well, no, he gets possessed, he goes to a voodoo doctor, the voodoo doctor does like an exorcism, and once he gets rid of the demon, he keeps the powers. So now this person is essentially building up a demonic cult based off the devil's abilities and whatnot, and eventually hell comes a knocking because hell is like, we need those powers back. So Satan and all kinds of other demons are coming back to get those powers back from him, and they're dealing with him and his cult that he's raised up. It's a dope story, 5 issues. The art for it is pretty dope. And it has a pretty like tone very similar to something like Wanted, but like more supernatural in that same aspect. And I fucked with it. I thought it was dope. I thought it was really dope.
So obviously, my obvious question first and foremost is, why does he get targeted for possession, or does he do something to like kind of evoke?
He's a weak mind. So it's kind of that same thing of like whenever you talk here, people discuss possessions, the demons and devils and ghosts have to like wear you down. Right. So it's the whole idea of like infestation leading up to finally possession, where they're wear you down. But because this guy's already weak and kind of going through all this shit in life, he's kind of an easy target to get possessed.
He's basically depressed from his life already, and then I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. And this is written by Cullen Bunn, art by Fran Gallen, letters by L. Torres, and cover for, at least for this first issue, is Fran Gallen, the same guy that did the art for it.
You said Lucky Devil? I'm looking it up.
Yeah, and it looks pretty unique. It's like unique looking art. I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed it.
So the other thing too is, because you mentioned he has a weak mind, so he's susceptible to type of stuff. I'm curious, does it really get into how he's able to fight it all? Because you said essentially he's able to take control of the powers and kind of put the devil or the demon on the back seat. Does it kind of get into how he's able to do that?
Yeah. So initially, I think it was just a thing of like the demon would only possess him in certain points of time. Like it'd be like maybe like a day thing or a night thing. I can't remember. But there would be periods where he would have his body back and he would like be aware of all the fuck shit he was doing. And once he got his body back, he was freaking out like, what the fuck? I just murdered a shit ton of people with his demonic power. And he panics and goes to this voodoo guy for an exorcism. And for whatever reason, this voodoo guy he was legit. He was the real deal. And he commenced the exorcism and got him up out of there. Oh, and then funny enough, it's similar to a buddy cop thing, because eventually the demon comes back to him, but without his powers now. So he's kind of acting like a guide almost, in a way of like let him, but he's also kind of that unreliable friend because he's invested in his best interest to get his abilities back at a certain point too.
Of course. Yeah,
To
almost
a
close to like
degree, it almost sounds like Dandadan.
Kind of,
Like,
oh,
sort of,
with
kind of, sort of, yeah.
Turbo Granny and oh
mhm.
no,
But
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Turbo Granny and Okarin.
yeah.
it's like that, just a lot darker and a lot more violence in how it goes about handling things. Because
Yeah,
there's a
look at
lot
the
of
art.
gore and viscera.
The art is very,
Yeah.
very dope. It's very good.
Actually read Dandadan when you get a chance. And they liked it up for the anime version.
That's what I heard. I mean, because also let's see, let's keep it a buck. There's a lot of even from the pilot episode. There's some stuff in there as far as they get ready to do things to Momo. So it's not even trying to be and So I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
But,
but
okay, but you look at
that is my pick. Oh, he also has like weird abilities where he can like turn inanimate objects into like demons, I guess. Like there's I remember specifically in the first issue a panel where this guy's on a subway and he turns the subway door into like a demon with mouths and it bites this guy in half.
Oh my god!
Because he's just killing people for the fun of it. He's just traveling the city doing fuck shit for the fun of it.
That is
sounds very Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's exactly like Mahito from. Also reminded me of. I'm not sure if you ever. This isn't my choice, but have y'all ever? I know you've seen the movie, The Mask with Jim Carrey. Have y'all ever actually read that comic book? That crazy
I know it's a lot darker. I know it's a lot darker.
I actually didn't know it was a comic until just now.
Oh,
yeah,
we're okay. So I was in the 90s as a fan of that movie so much, and I found, hey man, there's a comic book. I said, let's watch this. There's a comic book, and I was like, what the comic book is so out of pocket. It's literally like the most out of pocket comic book because he is just like it's very much almost like an NC-17 level comic book.
It's the idea really,
it's a person with insane comic book powers or cartoon powers.
Toon Force.
Yes, or even like if you had like Luffy going Gear 5, if he was psychotic, that's kind of the idea. And it's just like insane stuff. It's like, what is going on? How is this possible? So yeah, that's clearly like very much in that same kind of vein as you're talking about, Dev.
Yeah, I recommend y'all go check it out if y'all can find it. I think Comics Global or Global Comics X is like the new big comic reading website they have where you can pay the subscription and they have pretty much every comic from indie stuff to I think they just added Marvel as well, so you can probably go read it there. And I'll cycle through some of the, at least for Marvel and DC, they'll cycle through some of their more popular stuff because their catalog is extra extensive.
Right on. That sounds dope. Dope. I know. People were getting off of the after Diamond imploded, they had to find other places to get their comics from online and everything too. Yeah. That's a good pick. Who was you want to go next? Oh, want me to go next?
No, I saw you.
Okay, so I tried to narrow this down because I had my choice for a zombie, which is something else. But if we're doing more horror, it's obviously my obvious choice is going to be Berserk. It is what it is. But I want to give a quick shout out real quick before that to something else that I'm sure most of y'all know about. It's Lock and Key. The Lock and Key graphic novel, as opposed to the show, is very
the whack ass Netflix show.
Yeah,
oh my God, here this thing go.
It's very.
Because it was whack.
No, I mean it's the Netflix show is what it is. It is what it is. But the comic, I'm not sure if y'all read the comic. I saw the comic. It's very much like it's a weird kind of disturbing kind of. It's close to like the Netflix show Black Mirror as far as the way they use the keys. It's very just disturbing seeing these children using keys to do stuff that's like kind of like weird powers they have and stuff. It's unnerving. It's very unnerving. I really enjoy reading that. But my actual choice for all-time favorite, of course, is Berserk. For those who haven't read Berserk, I mean, I find it hard for anyone to be online and watching this show hasn't heard of Berserk. But for those who don't know, Berserk is a all-time great manga that essentially, in lots of ways, is attributed to being like one of the like pioneers in dark fantasy. So as opposed to if you have Tolkien, who's considered one of the grandfathers of fantasy, you have what's his name? Kentaro Miura. Am I pronouncing that right, Otis? The author for
sounds about right.
I know I'm butchering. I'm gonna get torn apart, but the author for Berserk, Kentaro, is considered like the essentially the forefather of dark fantasy, at least in the manga genre. And Berserk is all about essentially a powerhouse dude who carries a sword the size of a refrigerator around with him, and he fights demons. It was literally inspired when Kentaro originally saw Fist of the North, or saw or read Fist of the North Star back in the day. And he wanted to just draw cool shit that had a powerhouse going around kicking ass. and the story developed from there, became a much bigger, better thing. But he started drawing when he was like 12 years old, and kind of just got much bigger and better. But what makes it stand out, yes, is the artwork. I'm sure those who haven't read the book yet know how legendary the artwork is, but also just how disturbing the story is too, because it's not just a tragic
Shout out to
hero.
the Band of the Hulk.
Yeah. If you we can't.
Or what's left of them.
It's yeah. If you get a chance, just like type in Red Eclipse or Day of the Eclipse in Berserk, and just see how many flags you get on your computer, pretty much saying they can't show you what it actually is. It's like the worst day possible, and that's the beginning. That's just the beginning of the story, and things get worse from there, essentially. So if you get a chance, check it out. It is very, very horrific, but the actual thing that makes it so horror, basically what makes it a true horror, is the idea that he has to go through, the main character essentially has to endure this life forever. He's branded by a spoiler alert, he's branded by the God Hand, which is basically kind of like a squad of super Illuminati demons that pretty much spend every night he has to battle demons and all kinds of monsters for survival. And things get worse as over time. He actually has to do it during the day and everything else too. But it's just a tale of someone having to survive against all just pure will and a fridge sword against all odds. And it's a really good
I've been praying for a good like anime adaptation of that. I know there's supposed to be another one coming soon. That's why I've held off on me like reading the manga because I'm like, I don't want to watch the anime at some point.
The 3 movies are god tier. They're so well done.
The movies are good. It's golden age. It is golden age. So if you get like what's it called, the fantasy age and everything else that happens later on, and it's really, really cool. But yeah, Charlie, I think the film they're doing is the Dark Swordsman arc, which is kind of it's a fan made film, but it's like a high quality. But it's like the arc before he goes into the golden age. He's like still just very angry, but it does take place chronologically after golden age. So that'd be it should be good.
Say less. Yeah, I'll peep it out. I'm gonna go watch movies then. I think they're probably on Crunchyroll, right?
Netflix.
They're
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, they're one of them. Yeah, because even in called the Golden Age arc, even in the Golden Age, you still see a lot of like disturbing. It's more in the manga, but it's a lot of like just cruel, nasty, disturbing people. It's like these are just the town. Even the non-monsters are monsters. It's like on here. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for the Buster Swords. Fuck it. I know, hell, one of my characters is based off a design. It's based off of that design, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, that's right. Probably has it been? I haven't looked into it. I'm guessing it must have been confirmed that the dudes who made Cloud Strife based that sword off of Kentaro, Guts' sword. It must have been.
Don't ask me about nothing Final Fantasy. Outside of the 16, I know nothing about it.
You say it's 16? Oh yeah, 16.
Outside of the one with Clive Roswell, I know nothing else about Final Fantasy. I'd never played any other games.
I can't remember that. I don't want to see though. A slight tangent. That opening of Final Fantasy 16, where he, spoiler alert, claps his brother. Is like that's a horror game right there. That's crazy horror. But anyways, I digress.
16 is actually the first Final Fantasy title game that I didn't play. I actually got to go back and play that. I haven't played it.
It's really fun. It's really fun. It gets a little stale in the middle areas of it, but it's fun. I have fun playing it.
Actually, it's an action game.
What you got for us, Big BBM?
Is there I only see 3 people. That's King the Comics. There's Charlie. I don't understand who you're referring to there.
I gotta start putting BBM in the description for the videos when people look at who the co-host.
It's just so close. The acronym's so close to some other BB stuff. Is that
Oh my god! All right. Go
ahead, I mean, you can literally turn one letter upside down.
Yes, freak.
Yes, I mean when we were initially focusing on the zombie portion, I was gonna go typical and say to actually read The Walking Dead because it's so much better than the show that we got. Like way darker, way more in depth. You thought the governor was bad in the series version. Oh man, look what he did to me shown in the comic. That's all I'll say there.
Yeah.
But if we're going full on horror, The Promised Neverland. Read that shit.
Yeah.
It's so much better
Yeah.
than what they did in the anime. The first season was done right, but the second season doesn't exist. The rest of the manga for Promised Neverland is so good that is literally one of the only 2 tattoos in existence that I really am considering getting on my body.
With Norman to do with the white hair. Yeah.
22194.
Yeah. He's a G. He's a G. Yeah. Damn.
He's one of the best deuterogenous of all time.
Yeah. Fair. I guess he's a deuteragonist, right? Because I guess what's her face? The Emma, is that her name?
Emma, she's the protagonist. Yeah, for sure.
Emma. Yeah, she's part of the protagonist. That's you're right, though, man. That's a shame. That I'm still mad about how they treated Promised Neverland season 2. That's a shame.
Yeah,
I mean,
I never watched the second season. I only watched the first season of the anime. I heard it was bad, and I was like, you know what? I'll leave it alone.
Good. Yeah. As far as it never happened when they
phenomenal read.
Yeah.
I love the concept.
Yeah. It's that's a shame.
Yeah, they just said, we're gonna skip from the first season to the actual last season because reasons.
I don't even like money. I don't like money. That's crazy.
That's the wildest thing I've ever heard. Because usually they stretch things out too long, and for them to say let's chop all this. Also, because it didn't get. I think it got and it was at least nominated for Anime of the Year the first season.
It was so highly coveted and appreciated. I don't understand what could go into the thought process of saying we're gonna skip some of the best written arcs in anime that I've seen in a long time. So well written, so good.
That bothers me because I know the manga was well received too. It wasn't like the manga wasn't well received.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a better version of that I saw. I don't know if you ever watched it. Was in the Grimm Brothers or the Grimm Fairy Tales thing they did on Netflix, where they essentially took the Brothers Grimm stories, but they adapted them into an anime, and they had a version that was very similar to Promised Neverland, where I think maybe it was a Hansel and Gretel one, where they essentially made it to where they were trying to escape their parents and went into this wall. Literally, there was a wall that led into space. I can't remember exactly. It was a crazy ass episode, but I remember enjoying it a lot.
I haven't heard of that.
I remember, but saying that it's better is asinine. It's not better than Promised Neverland.
It's that me and Carrie put me on too. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was better personally.
Do you have any idea what that series is called? It's called
Brothers Grimm or something like that on Netflix.
It's Grimm Fantasies or something like that. It's a whole series. They did Cinderella and
it plays into the true story of those fairy tales before Disney stole them.
The original Grimm's tales they're all dark. There's no I mean, people getting toes. What's the face? Cinderella getting her toes chopped off and stuff. Yeah, it's all dark stuff.
I wouldn't be me without having to do an extra step, and have it was a zombie series. It's still a zombie series that I absolutely hate, and that's the Marvel Zombies comic.
You hate it? The comics?
I think it's fucking stupid. Why would you focus in on the zombies? Why make this into a collective closed story and build them up to being cosmic level zombie threats?
If you're talking about them overstaying their welcome, I get it. But even then, I think that's just so they have the ability to go into all aspects of Marvel. Just because they have a whole little galaxy full of characters that they can go to and empires they can go to.
Then just focus on the actual cosmic characters that do that. Don't turn Spider-Man and friends into cosmic level zombie eaters, planet destructors. I don't know what you want to call them, but I don't know.
They're already that strong as they are. We're just talking about the X-Men alone, damn near.
Yeah,
and then they were barely in that. It was focused on the Avengers.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, the Avengers too, for the most part. But I see your point. I disagree, but I see what you mean. In regards to overstaying his welcome, if you didn't enjoy, because Marvel usually does that with a lot of stuff where they'll just they're bringing back the King and Black shit again right now. I'm like, we just finished. It feels like the King and Black stuff with Noel a couple years ago, and we're already bringing that shit back. We're running that.
I think they're trying to redeem the Venom movies, possibly. But yeah, I know what you mean with Marvel Zombies. It was because I was hyped for it because I know I love zombies. I was like, this is gonna go dope, and it fell off the rails. It did, but I still enjoyed the earlier parts of it, and it's cool. It's cool just to see their takes on how they would do a World of Zombies. But I heard
some of it was cool. I thought Hank Pym, snacking on T'Challa was interesting.
Yeah.
half cap, half a face
It's
cap.
only body. Yeah, it's not all body.
Yeah,
I
that
can't. I
was.
can't remember if this was in this or at the end of World War Hulk. Was Hulk like the last living person on the planet before
You still
Silver
resist.
and
Yeah,
Galactus came?
No,
his
Hulk
approach
was
shows him fighting a
zombified.
bunch of them though by himself. A bunch of them.
Yeah, Hulk was definitely zombified. Like it was like a weird thing where like Hulk would like super engorge and then he would turn back into
Yeah.
Bruce Banner and then like his stomach exploded because he overate.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
a whole thing.
So
But
I'm
there's
thinking
an
about the
awesome
end of
scene where
I'm
he
thinking
fights
about
a
the end
bunch.
of World War Hulk then,
Yeah.
or one of the alternate endings of it. But yeah, that's all we have for the comics. It honestly perfectly works out with the time.
Did you
Let's
did you have
now.
a yeah?
Okay.
I was
You
gonna
say
say,
what?
did you have? I think Otis and I both did too. Did you have a second or an honorable mention or what have you?
I mean, I could just bring up like a couple really quickly, or more like a series to go check out. Um, I say start with Vinyl is the first run. I've talked about it before on my channel, and I've even interviewed the writer Doug Wagner. But he does this. He's built up this serial killer universe where all these serial killers have really interesting personalities and ways they go about living their world, where they kill people, but they're not necessarily evil per se. It's more so like compulsion and things of their within, almost kind of similar to Dexter and how he has like the dark urge in the back of his mind, but you have characters that do things. I say start with Vinyl because it introduces the character Rennie Bathory, who is based off of Renee Bathory in history, who was the woman, the countess that was like murdering all the young women and bathing in their blood. And Renee essentially, and I was a fashion school serial killer, legit will murder men, and usually it's like predators and men that do people wrong, but bathe in their blood, skin them alive, and make clothing out of their skin and things of that
God.
nature.
Okay.
And it's dope. The way I think her comic would make. I think that whole universe in general would make an amazing live action or animated series
Oof,
because
live
she's
action.
is that dope. Live action would be dope,
That's
but I
like
can see it being
God.
animated as well.
So
I
real quick,
wonder if
we
any
have
of
to
the Keepers came from that.
really.
I said I wonder if it did. I
Oh,
don't
but
know.
that's
If it
crazy.
did.
Fashion School. This is like it's relatively recent. I think even Vinyl, the first
I'm talking
book
about
that
from
started.
Renee Bathory.
The
The
real person.
skinny.
Oh, the idea. I mean,
Yeah.
kinda. I mean, that could have still been an Ed Gein thing. There's been multiple people in history that have like used human skin as like furniture. That's also like a Nazi thing too. And then they did it during slavery with the slaves.
Yeah.
Big read for y'all if y'all ever want to do some research on that during slavery. The Delectable Negro, book that details how they used slaves to make furniture, food, and all kinds of other fucked up shit during chattel slavery.
That's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
I have to point this out. So was her real name Bathory, and then she bathed in the blood of people, or did she change her name legally to Bathory?
No, her actual name is Rennie Bathory. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like
As far
me
as I
being
know, I
named
mean,
like
the comic
Ribs
hasn't.
or something.
Maybe she changed her name in the book, but that was never detailed up until the point we read thus far. I mean,
That's dope, man.
the next installment that he does in his series will probably like include her in some form or fashion, so we'll see. But she's probably the more popular out of all the characters that he created, which is why she got her own series spinoff.
No,
5 issues.
It's dope. It's dope. It's a very telling name, Bathory.
Yeah, I've covered it. I think Kaori's done videos on it as well. And then again, I talked to the writer about it. He's dope. Shout out to Doug.
Shout out to Doug Wagner.
But yeah, moving on into. Do you guys want to go into video games or movies next?
What are you feeling now? Because I think it's your turn to go next.
We can do video games.
Okay, we can jump into it. I feel like I have a feeling of what y'all are gonna say, but let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start you.
Yes, I mean the franchise / game that I like that I want to talk about the most is probably Dying Light.
Okay.
I mean parkour plus like ninja stuff and zombies is usually going to equal fun. Unless you're the series that I hate, which is on the opposite end, which is fucking Dead Rising. One of the worst crafted video games that I've seen in a long time.
Horribly the mall. Yeah. There's no parkour in that. It's just mall nonsense.
No, it's more so the crafting of different of weaponry to go against that. That's a heavy part of Dying Light 2. And most of those kind of like zombie games is also a big piece of Dead Island. But like
Dead Island's another whole mess.
Yeah, but one of the worst crafted video games that I've seen. I don't understand how it had anywhere near the amount of hype that it had behind it, because like nothing about it was actually good.
I played it as a kid and really enjoyed it. I played it on like Xbox. It was goofy. It gave me like Saints Row energy in regards to how wild and obnoxious certain weapons
Also, a
were.
dumb fucking game.
But yeah, I think we just love the absurdity and like the fun of it, where it's not taking itself too seriously.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's just. I mean,
It's
it is. I mean,
zombies.
it's basic. It'd be fun. Yeah, it's pure fun.
Yeah.
I don't want fun-loving ha zombies. I want end of the world zombie apocalypse. Like we don't do that here.
Did you not like Zombieland?
Yeah, Zombieland was solid.
Did you like? Oh, I don't think. Did you watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I fucking hate Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Also,
Yeah.
does that I don't think Tucker and Dale does it have Tucker and Dale versus Evil doesn't have actual like monsters though, right? Or it's kind of like that's
No,
the whole,
I'm not.
Yeah,
It's not.
the
I'm
whole
thinking
joke.
about what's the one with the two British guys where they're going through the zombie
Oh,
apocalypse.
Shaun of the
Shaun of
Dead.
the Dead.
Shaun of the
I
Dead.
also
Shaun of the
despise
Dead,
that
yeah.
movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I hate that movie so bad.
But
That's
before
actually
we
going to be on later
before
on
we
the
get
list too.
piles of hate
Yeah,
mail,
we're going into the game that I like. Dying Light.
Yeah.
I mean, the main character feels very Chris Redfield, which is icon in zombie stuff in my opinion. The first person aspect lets you make you feel like really personally in the games, but it's fast paced, unlike Resident Snore, or Resident Evil, as Ethan likes to call him. Yeah, just like it's actually like it's actually difficult, like as opposed to zombies moving at you at 2 miles an hour so everybody can see it. And the aspect of switching from day to night in a zombie, well, in a horror game in general, but in a zombie one specifically, and when seeing just how much more aggravated the zombies are at night, just gave an element to it that just made it really feel intense. A thing that Resident Evil could never do, except for when, like, you got one zombie like crashing through walls behind you. That was good. That was good. But yeah,
I thought it was a cool game. The only thing that turned me off to it is the first person parkour. I'm just not a fan of first person parkour. I don't know if it's motion sickness or what it is for me. I can't do it. If there's a third person like base version of that, I could probably do it, but I just can't do the first person parkour. But I thought it was a fun game though.
I had the exact same opinion, Deb. Like I tried playing it with friend of the show, Keith Stanley, and Otis. In the first person parkour is a little rough. It's a little. I couldn't quite get it to work just right. I am clumsy with gaming, yes, but I couldn't quite get it to work just right. But I did like the weapon crafting, and it was a fun. I did like the day nights because I beat Dying Light 1, but I like the game. The franchise is cool, but I just couldn't quite get the nail the parkour as well as I wanted to. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. What you got? Not but Professor E.
So obviously, as Otis destroyed me online, I do love me some Resident Evil. That is my franchise. I mean, it's my favorite game franchise of all time. It actually is. I think it's pretty much established that like one of the best games of all time is Resident Evil 4 remake. I was trying to get Dev onto Resident Evil 4 remake. It's not. They don't have.
RE4 where they capped and they just started going downhill from there.
But see, even Otis will admit that Resident Evil 4 is a solid game. It's a solid game.
Because of the story, not the gameplay. It was horribly slow.
So for me, RE4 is the best one. I literally based with my characters and my comics off of Leon Kennedy from that game in particular, and RE2. Also, y'all were there. Y'all were there with me. We went to an after party at LA Comic-Con a couple years back, and there was a girl cosplaying as Ada Wong, I was so spin. I had to back on her. I was Charlie was it. Charlie saw it. She Charlie was there.
So background lore at that party.
I had to talk to her.
I saw this man Eagle talk to old girl. I looked around, I'm like, oh, look at my boy talking to old girl. I talked to Otis, and we're talking to our boy B Cash. I turned back around. Ethan gone. He gone. I'm like, where the fuck he go? Otis like, yeah, I think he went out he left with old girl. I said, what the hell? This thing is the ride. Where'd he go?
I came back. I didn't let him leave. I didn't need to go. I came back. But I am extremely susceptible. I am very biased. Ada Wong. I couldn't pass up an Ada Wong.
Freak ass.
I'm guilty. I'll admit that all day.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's my. I love me some Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2, and I get it. The franchise isn't strong all around. Otis is right, but again, you have to remember what year did it come out? Oh, the first one, Resident Evil 1, 95.
Yeah. gotta be like 95.
Yeah, 95, 94, right? So back in the day, though, when zombies were the only one type of zombies were the slow walking zombies, and the gameplay was meant to be in favor of the old school Romero type of stuff. It's like, yeah, of course it's made that way. It is what it is. They got faster and got different over the games, but the first one, of course, is gonna be like that. So I get it. I get what they're going for. But yeah,
And by fast, he means getting up to a light jog.
I mean, it's faster than me, my 40-year-old ass. So yeah, I'll take it. I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's in horror in general, there is the pros and cons to something moving slowly or faster. I think that's why kind of you get into like the fear of like Michael Myers. He's just and Jason, even they're this unstoppable force that no matter how slow they're moving, it's constant. Or even like the Terminator to an extent, it's just nonstop at you. Sometimes I feel like having something be nonstop fast and still not kill something takes away a little bit of the stakes a little bit, because this thing is constantly sprinting at me but can't kill me. Okay, do I need to be scared of this thing at all? Or how strong is this thing really? But
right,
it depends.
Let something sprint at you and die in light and see how long you survive.
It's a movie.
But I see what Charlie's saying though, as far as like, if you are to the point where you have so much aura, you don't have to run at people. That's scary in of itself. It's kind of like I can't. Like, I remember the movie we get to later on, as far as getting to Jason and everything else. But it follows. The whole point is that it doesn't have to run at you, and it follows. It's going to find you. It's going to come to you eventually. The idea of inevitability in and of itself is scary, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
because I mean we've seen both versions too, with like the Friday remake with Hunter Jason, where he's sprinting at people and shit and like setting traps and whatnot, and that was terrifying too.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the first though.
Before I think it was terrifying for a different reason though.
Yeah.
But for me, my game is one that not so many people probably have looked at. It's one that funny enough, to plug myself, I played on my channel in full. The casting of Frank Stone. It is.
Oh yeah.
It is my way of picking Until Dawn without picking Until Dawn, because I liked the gameplay and the concept of Until Dawn, but I didn't necessarily love the characters, and I really did like the idea of it. I didn't like the Wendigo at the end of that game. I love monsters and demons, but just the Wendigo didn't feel like the best final boss for that particular story. So in this one, it's more so poltergeist based and whatnot, but it did have some of a similar ending of like it dealt with time travel, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about time travel usually and stuff. It's kind of something that's really hit or miss for me in anything. But for the most part, the presentation of the game was dope. I really cared for the characters when the characters were introduced, and it is dope altogether. It's a dope story, and I love the concept of your decision either making or breaking if somebody lives or dies, and that decision being final. So if I make a decision, you can go back and redo it later on if you want to at different points of the game. So it gives you also some replayability into it. But for your first playthrough, whatever decision you make, if you get somebody killed, it is what it is. Even if it's your favorite character, they're cooked. There's no coming back from it.
Because that was that game you streamed. I joined, hopped on the stream with you for one time.
Yeah, you did like the first episode or two. I think Crumb and her homegirl came. Well, yeah, it was Crumb and maybe Ziana. I can't remember if it was Ziana, but I know Crumb was there for like the second episode. I think I did the rest of it by myself at that point. But it was fun. Have fun playing through that.
Right on. Yeah,
and it's a spinoff of. It's one of the original characters from Dead by Daylight, because Dead by Daylight was doing a thing for a little bit to where they were branching their characters out into doing more projects with them, because you have a bunch of demons and monsters that have really dope, interesting stories around them. And I didn't hate it. I'd be interested to see more like either games or movies based around some of the Dead by Daylight demons and characters and whatnot, because it also gets into different cultures.
That's another franchise I couldn't give a fuck less about. People like it so much, and I'm just like,
because you can't fight back.
Yeah, it's not about the fight.
Boring.
Wait, so is it spinoff based off of the human characters, or the spinoff based off the monster that's hunting the humans?
The monster. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because you get to see them, and because in the end of the game, you see like the Dead by Daylight demon you see in the game, like it comes down and like takes everybody and whatnot. It's dope. Again, that franchise in general is dope. Again, if you like playing with your friends, it's dope to shit talk your friends and play around with each other and whatnot. And those games in particular even more dope, because you can play together. It's like that one, and also like the Man of Medan, I believe, is in that similar vein, where you can play those games but also have friends play along with you, where friends are making decisions too. So you and your friends have your own. It's almost like D&D in the sense where you can both make decisions, and your decisions are that thing for that run through the story.
That's I dig it. That's fair enough. I watched an entire playthrough of Until Dawn, because like Otis says, it's not really. It's almost like a movie. They even have movie stars like a Hidden Penitentiary and or I mean,
The
Mount
movie
there.
was ass.
Yeah, it's
So,
it's not a.
actual movie.
The
Oh
movie
my
was
god,
trash.
the
Oh,
It's
there was an actual movie too, but I watched a playthrough because it is like a movie. Not that I didn't watch the movie. I didn't watch.
Oh yeah, the game itself. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
figured
watched
the
the
movie
playthrough
wouldn't.
of the
The
game.
movie was there's not a good way to adapt those into a movie because you can't get all those decisions into the one. Like it'd be a
No.
6 hour long movie to do all that shit.
No, it's also meant to be interactive. That's the point.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least bring up the FromSoft classic, my favorite PS4. It's PS4, right, Otis? Yeah.
Yeah,
Or 3.
Bloodborne.
Yes, that's 4. 3. That's 4. PS4.
That's
Yeah, my favorite PS4 game of all time, Bloodborne, which is
I
very
think-
much a dev was watching us play it a little bit back in the day. We did a fundraiser. So Bloodborne is a lot of ways is very much it's a Lovecraftian / like old school Universal Monsters kind of game. I'm sure most people know about it as well. But you get a chance to actually fight against a massive werewolf. You get a chance to fight against vampires. You get a chance to be essentially a vampire-ish type of old school. What's that dude's name? The one who fights Van Helsing, kind of a Van Helsing type of character.
Yeah, it's Dracula usually.
Yeah, he fights Dracula. So it's and also the whole setting is amazing. So yeah, obviously most people love themselves some Bloodborne. I'm one of them. So I got to mention that game too. Some props.
Those monsters don't come at you slowly either. Eh?
No, no, not even close. They come crazy fast, too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But different strokes for different folks. So you have your slow zombies at times. You have your fast. And again, the zombies, they're not even quite zombies in the RE4. They're fast. There's like a giant moving real quick in RE4. So it's not slow ass moving zombies in RE4. RE2, sure, but it has Ada Wong. So
yeah. And I guess shout out to any indie games. It took me until recently when I played one called a Minty on Steam, where Steam has so many different people, like mini studios that do indie games that will terrify the fuck out of you. Like I don't care who you are, the biggest, toughest nigga that doesn't get scared. You play through those games and you have a good set of headphones, will fuck with you because they play around with your perception, how noise is going around. It's a lot different when you're in the actual horror game thing itself and you're not just watching it as a spectator and can sit back and kind of just chill.
Yeah. Yes. Also, the kind of a hand. I don't know if it's a handheld, honestly, but those like JRPG horror games that they have, where like the little girl talking to you will start transforming from like being a little sweet little, basically the sweet little girl. What's that game called? I know y'all played it or heard of it before. Is that the one where she seems all sweet and everything, like a dating sim essentially at the beginning, and then all of a sudden she turns, like you realize you're kind of trapped in like a weird horror world with her. So there's all kinds of really creative really creative.
You saw the Claire game, the one on PS3 a while back, with like the blonde girl.
I don't think it was
like a
that
platformer.
I don't think it was I'll look it up, but it was a game. It's like a Japanese game where like a dating sim, where the idea is you seem like you're talking to this girl and she seems like she's really into you for a while, and she has like pink hair, like she's wearing like a Japanese schoolgirl outfit. And she seems really chill for a long time, and you slowly realize, wait, something's off with this girl. What's going on? And it kind of reveals her true nature. She is essentially a monster later on in the story, but it's very disturbing. But yeah, very much. If you get a chance, even if you can't play, if you don't have the stomach to play these indie horror games, there's so many indie horror games, and there's so many insanely creative people out there doing bonkers level shit with them. It's like I've only played like one of them. I was like, what's it called? And it's called like what's the name of that damn game? My old ass brain. Mouthwashing.
I think I'm talking about. And they're getting way more experimental too, like with your microphone connected to where you can't scream or you can't make a certain amount of noise and shit, or the monster in the game will be alerted to you, or you're getting dope. They're getting dope, and they're horror in general pushing things forward in what it does and what the genre does.
Yeah, I mean, even like the mic, Alien Isolation. Did you play Alien Isolation, Charlie or Otis?
I did not.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm thinking about the PS2 game, maybe, or PS3 game.
Oh, I can't. It may have been on PS3, honestly. But it was Alien Isolation that has the same thing where you can't what you do. Like your whole point is you were just trying to survive a xenomorph on a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing Ripley's daughter or something. But the whole point is you can't really fight back. It's about you surviving it, and you get into the locker trying to hide from it. And the thing is, your character breathes. So when you're in a locker, you have to literally hold your breath, and you have like a little tracker trying to track the actual way where the xenomorph is. You have to turn it off, otherwise it'll hear the beeping sound. So it's the idea, like you say, experimenting with horror it's always fun.
What you gonna say, Al?
Yeah, I mean, I respect the experimentation in indie games across the board, but especially in horror games. But yeah, if I can't kill the thing that's after me, I'm not gonna play it.
It's not scary as much. I feel like when you can kill something, that takes the fear out of it. There's no inevitability to it.
I play video games to just get back a semblance of control because we don't actually have that in real life. So being out of
Fair enough.
control is really counter to my whole reason for playing video games. So I'm good.
I feel it. I feel it.
That's Phil. Real quick question for y'all: do you think would y'all consider Hollow Knight a horror game or
What
is that
game?
more-
No.
You said what game?
Hollow
Great
Knight?
game. Not
You
a
said
horror.
Halloween Night?
No,
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Oh, I had never played the Hollow Knight game, so I can tell you.
Oh,
I mean, it could probably be in a
That's
horror
it.
genre in regards to like the design of it and like the way the monsters work, maybe. But I couldn't tell you exactly. I haven't played them.
that's all right. That's all right.
I mean, I don't even know if I would call it horror themed. Like, it's a
talked about
platformer.
it. We talked about it earlier today and like some of the posts or whatnot. But horror has this for a lot of people a criteria that a lot of people put it within that they need to see to consider something horror. But with any other genre, you can experiment with the subgenres within it and make something. I think it's more, horror is more so a thematic thing than a checklist that you need to check off to become something.
Right, that's fair. Because also, I would even like, for example, I think both of y'all have seen Heretic, the movie Heretic.
Oh
I know
yeah! Oh my
movie
god,
later on,
that was an amazing movie. I fucking love
it's,
that movie.
it's a great movie, but I do consider that a horror because from the perspective of the protagonist, that is a horror scenario.
Yeah, if you're a woman if you're a woman watching that movie, you're fucking terrified.
Well, yeah, especially those who we're not getting the spoilers, but it's those specific protagonists in that specific situation as far as having their faith tested and everything else. There's something non-horrific about that. There's no monster. I mean, spoiler. There's no monster really in it, but it's still a horror scenario.
There's a monster in it. I think it's a monster.
I mean,
I think it's a monster.
I don't think you need necessarily a monster to be considered horror. I think you have to have something that is like unsettling or scary to some degree. Like it has to be off-putting somewhere. If this is like a stroll down memory lane and you have a jump scare, that's not a horror movie to me.
I think the difficulty you have there is that not everything is scary to other people. Like that movie in particular didn't necessarily scare me as much because the subject matter and the thing didn't really appeal to me. I'm not they were Mormon. I'm not a Mormon. I'm not a woman. So me being in that situation, it's not going to be fearful to me. But if I'm a woman in a scenario where this man is holding me hostage here and potentially doing some fucked up things to me, that's an experience that women can empathize with because they've been in these fearful scenarios in real life. So every movie has a different message and a different thing it's trying to convey to a particular audience. And if you can empathize with it and understand why this is scary for somebody else, I think that therein lies like the differences that some people have. Because for a lot of people that I'm realizing today, especially, if something isn't scary to you, you don't consider it horror because it's not something it's not a situation that you'd be scared of. You walking into a room full of men isn't as terrifying as a woman walking into a room full of men.
No, it is a very different.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's still in what is something that people don't consider horror, but it's horror.
So that's a good question. One thing, actually, bizarrely enough, some slasher films, like my students love. I don't know what it is. It's the younger generation loves Scream. Even the OG Scream with Stu and Kari.
It's trendy now. It's trendy now.
It's trendy, right? It's trendy. So Scream, some people consider that more of like a fun, like or thriller, actual thriller, as opposed to a horror. It's like it gets to the whole idea of what is a thriller, what's a horror, but they consider Scream a thriller, even though it's very much considered a horror film. So it's kind of where do the lines fall? Where are your opinions? What are your sensibilities? That type of stuff. I remember when I was a kid, my parents considered the Terminator movies horror, even though they're meant to be sci-fi action. But if you think about the idea, especially in the first one, y'all, the Terminator is literally just is a killing machine chasing after somebody. So from Sarah Connor's point of view, it is a horror movie.
It's not too different from Halloween or Friday. Like you have this unstoppable machine-like force murdering everybody it comes across, and just honing in on one person. Yeah. Funny, even niggas I've seen people. I saw somebody in the comment section. They make a stupid point about if it's not rated R, it can't be horror. But then you're looking at something like The Poltergeist, that is one of the most well-known horror films ever. It's like PG. That movie's PG.
Yeah.
The
Although
Poltergeist is a PG movie.
that's too. Yeah, that should have been rated higher than PG.
That was
Yeah.
a PG
That was
rated horror movie.
that was a mistake. That was an oversight. That was an
So this
oversight.
again, I just
But
think
even
there's
like
so many
the
layers
ring,
within it.
yeah, but the ring, the ring, from 2008 or so.
The
No, I'm sorry.
Ringu, which one? The Japanese version, or like the
Yeah, so Ringu was the first one, and then Ring was the remake of that, the American remake. I can't remember, it's 2001 or 2002 when it came out. That's a PG-13 movie also. So there's, that's horror also. That's horror.
Is Ghostbusters a horror movie?
Ooh, see,
shit. At the time when I was a kid watching that shit, when I saw fucking some of the demons they had in that shit, some of them shits fucked me up a little bit.
It does have demons. It has actual demons.
I don't know if I would consider it horror per se, because I don't think the intent is to make you scared of these things. I think these things are creepy.
That's
Halloween. Like Halloween Town isn't necessarily a horror thing, but it has some things that could creep some people out. But the intent isn't for it to just be creepy and make you uncomfortable.
Right, but that's the intent. That's the perfect thing right there. You said the intent. The intent clearly is to make laughs. People just have fun laughing at the stuff. The intent of Ghostbusters was never meant to make you.
But even then, there are horror comedies where like their intent is to like make you laugh, but they also have a lot of those moments where they're harping. Like again, I've talked about the movie a million times before, but Ready or Not is one of those. It's a horror comedy and it has a lot of comedy aspects in it, but there's a lot of horror aspects within that thing as well.
Yeah, that's a good movie though. All around, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess it is horror, right?
But I think it's difficult because I can't remember. Outside of maybe like action comedies, I think horror is probably one of the first like genres I can think of that blended stuff together so much. Whereas there's so many different things within horror, and then that became a norm in other genres. And now it's kind of like hard to put a nail on it. But I honestly, I just go down to what the director, the people that make it. If they made it and they want to declare this thing a horror film, I'd put it in that category because that's what their intent was.
Is Zombieland a horror movie?
No. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it is. It's because from the perspective of the main characters, they don't seem like they're terrified enough or in danger enough for it. Because I think all four of them, I mean, spoiler, I think all four of them even survive. So it's kind of like, for me, that's more of a comedy.
It's a comedy movie set in a zombie world.
Right. That's not a horror movie. It was marketed that way too. So I don't see that as a horror at all. I don't. Let me ask you this real quick. Gremlins, the movie that did inspire the PG-13 rating. Do y'all consider Gremlins 1?
I never watched Gremlins, so I couldn't tell you.
What?
For those movies I've seen clips of and heard of, but I never watched in its entirety. No.
Okay.
I'd assume so. From the things I've seen around them and how they look, and I'd say so.
I would say that it is. I would say like it's in like a similar vein to like Chucky.
It's very much like
because I can't say it is not. I can't say any horror that has comedy in it isn't horror, because literally one of the, again, to your point, some of the two biggest franchises that are known in horror have comedy in Nightmare and the Child's Play movies.
Yeah, but that's so we're dovetailing into our next topic pretty seamlessly as far as
But sure, it's a good topic to discuss. But again, to your point, at least into the last point or our last topic being movies, or like our favorite horror movies that we want to discuss. And I guess it's back on me, right? Or is it in? Well, Ethan, you went first last time.
No, because you went first with comics, right, Dev?
So it's on you. Yes, I started with comics. This one with video games, so it's one you start with.
Okay. So for me, because originally we were doing zombies. For my favorite zombie movie, I know it's unpopular opinion. I don't give a shit. It was 28 Weeks Later. And because it opens with that amazing scene.
It's the better movie.
I think it's the better
made that movie.
I think it also has Idris Elba in there as an army sergeant, what have you.
He is in there. I forgot about that.
He is as Idris Elba and Jeremy Renner and Rose. It's like this movie and Robert Carlyle. It's got some cats, but that it's not my favorite horror movie of all time. It's my favorite zombie movie of all time. My favorite horror movie of all time. If I had to go that route, it's a very, very old movie. I know Otis has seen it. I don't think Charlie's seen it just yet. It's The Thing.
I've seen The Thing. I've seen both versions. The super CGI version and the OG.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So The Thing with Kurt Russell and Keith David. That movie is fantastic. The effects still hold up. It's still great. It's what's his face? Wilford Brimley. That movie is fantastic. It's set in Antarctica or North Pole. I can't remember.
It's in Antarctica. It's wherever, because not every country says that Antarctica is off limits to live there and explore.
And the North Pole, but it's the idea of, because the way they say it's the setting too. The setting is part of the horror. The idea that you are trapped in the middle of nowhere, in a completely frozen hell essentially, with a monster that has the ability to transform into anyone that it wants to, or anything it wants to essentially. I think it has to make contact. It has to make actual physical contact first, I would think. Then after that, it can transform into whatever it wants. So the Thing, if you haven't seen the Thing yet, I know it's old, 1984 or something. I know it's old. I get that, but the effects are all practical effects. There's no CGI. The CGI didn't exist back then, and it was really really good. If you actually look at it, it's like how did they even pull this off? And it bombed bad in movie theaters because of ET, but still, that movie is fantastic. I love it to pieces.
Yeah, it's up there with like Basket Case and The Werewolf in London as far as like practical
Yeah,
effects and
Werewolf in
horror.
London.
It's done really well. Which I don't know if people have seen Basket Case. I guess is another example of like another like horror comedy where that's like one of the all time, like as far as practical effects, prosthetics, looks amazing. Funny as fuck, but amazing.
It's a weirder movie.
Otis, you want to get yours?
Yeah, so I mean, my favorite zombie movie, actually akin to E, is 28 Weeks Later, man. I think it's such a phenomenal movie. If I had to do a runner up to that one, I would say probably Dawn of the Dead. I think they did a really good job of just like capturing all the
remake or the original.
The remake, the Snyder version.
It's good too. It's good too.
Yeah, you know, they do such a good job of just capturing all the major zombie tropes and like turning them into actual plot points. So I give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah. And then they had Pfeiffer as an asshole, which is awesome. So
he actually hit a couple of the zombie tropes there, including the one that hit an infected person. So
yeah, he did.
Kudos to Tim for that, I guess. Maybe. But yeah,
have you seen Dawn of the Dead?
What, the OG one with the black guy surviving, or are we talking about the new one?
The new one from the 2000.
Yeah, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, other people who are less important.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Possibly. I don't remember it too well if I did.
Okay, it's in the mall, but yeah.
It's Snyder's best movie, if you ask me.
It is because there's no like, it has no slow motion. It's like it's all.
I know that shit looks like. I know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Snyder and zombies. Say no more. I know what that looks like.
Not the bad guy. Yeah, he's done other movies since then. Yeah. Zombies, but it's actually good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of practical effects, a lot of interesting portrayals of stuff. It's a solid movie, but if I have to name one that I hate, and I already mentioned it, fucking Shaun of the Dead. Who gave them permission to make something that bad? Like,
well, tell them why you hate it. Tell them why you hate it.
Well, one, they're not funny. Two, it's not scary.
Yeah.
Three, it's really fucking dumb because they break every rule of surviving a zombie apocalypse. They make all the wrong decisions on purpose and end up with fighting a bunch of like preschoolers in a backyard. Like, it's just a lot of dumb shit in there. Yeah. Like, it's so unscary that I would personally dequalify it from being a horror movie, but it's still, if you go look it up,
it's a fan favorite. It's a fan favorite.
I think it's more of a comedy too. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not a fan of the movie either. I know the whole Cornetto trilogy, as far as what Edgar Wright did, that Hot Fuzz, and then at World's End, whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of Hot Fuzz of Shaun of the Dead either. I'm just not. I agree.
The only movie with those two guys that's even remotely funny to me is Paul, and it's because Seth Rogen carries them.
I haven't seen Paul yet. He's the alien in that one, right?
Yeah. I think it was Seth Rogen, bro. Because I don't know if I know you haven't seen Good Fortune, that movie in theater now with like Seth Rogen. That season's already. It's been out for a little bit now. I watched it on a date like last weekend.
I didn't know that.
Don't bother watching it.
Oh shit! Okay.
Don't bother watching it. It's cute, but don't spend money to watch that. You can watch that on streaming.
Okay.
It makes me understand more how good Keke Palmer is of an actor. I'll put it like that.
She's in there. Yeah, she's in there, right?
Yeah, she's like the main love interest in it. It's fun. It's fun, but not worth spending primetime money to go see. It's a streaming movie for sure. I lost my whole point that I was talking about. What was I about to say?
Seth Rogen?
The Dead.
Oh, well, like Shaun of the Dead, yeah. Those movies. I feel like there's a certain sect of not even just horror, but just movies in general that are like group friend activity movies you watch together to laugh at how absurd they are. That's not when you watch by yourself, because then you have room to pick at it so much. And that's one, I watched that for the first time at like a summer camp program, and we had a blast watching that shit and how fucking stupid it was. I have a certain love for certain movies that are just like so bad they're fun to watch with friends.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
at a certain point, some of the later Transformers movies were getting to that point where it's just like fun as, or Twilight. Twilight is like that for me.
I
It's
feel
so
like
absurdly
Wait.
bad. It's funny as fuck to watch
beginning.
people.
If you're drunk, for Twilight, you gotta be drunk or high a little bit. Going to the sober.
We were fully sober because we were with the people I was watching it. We were also like, we understood how bad that was even when the books were coming out, because a lot of us read the books to talk to the girls that were into it at the time.
Oh, word, damn!
And we were
Y'all,
like,
y'all
this
macking
is
hard.
horrible.
Y'all putting overtime for macking. Okay.
Oh, bro, we were me and Jeffrey. I'll talk about it with Jeffrey at some point, and we'll talk about it because it was like
Just throw his name out there. Everyone say his last name. Yeah.
I don't think he did it, but there are definitely books for like they were popular with girls in like middle school and shit. Like from, I think I read Percy Jackson because one of my crushes were really into Percy Jackson at that point in time, and I ended up loving it.
My man, it was popular not just amongst like teenagers. It's popular like grown ass women around my age at the time those books came out were like into. I was like, what the fuck? I was what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah,
I never played it before. I got dragged to see a movie on a date. I was pissed.
Especially that last one.
I actually despise Twilight.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch it for fun. I can't watch it for. There's no enjoyment there. It's just bad acting and bad writing and fake vampires because they're not vampires.
Go watch the last one and see.
I've seen all of them.
Absurd the editing is, or some of the shit they do, like some of the CG. It's so fucking funny. And then for the end,
the whole fucking dreamscape of everybody dying and then them undoing that shit. That was so fucking stupid. Oh my god, that made me so angry. It's like you finally made an interesting scene and it didn't happen. What the fuck is this?
Her dad is stressed out the entire time. As every movie he thinks bears are just killing his best friends and killing all the people he loves.
His dad, the dad is dumb as shit.
He's just like her. He's like, this fucking bear is killing everyone I love. Oh my god.
By the way, are there even bears in Seattle? Like bears in Seattle? Come on.
I don't know.
Vampires
Suck is better than all of those movies combined.
But the thing about it is the parody is more is more serious than the actual like real. It's wild. I can't believe that's real.
I think I remember Renfield poking at that a little bit too. The Nick Cage vampire movie.
Yeah,
That was funny too. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I said that's a good movie.
I'll never watch
I haven't watched all the Twilights. But the thing about Twilight is like those movies are like gospel to so many people, and they're not. They're not good. They're not
white women mostly.
Yeah, nobody I know.
I mean, they were like Stephanie Myers is a it sounded she's a billionaire, but she's a multi-millionaire off of those books, man. And those movies made all kinds of bank, so people clearly watched them and liked them.
They were that's when they were like milking the part 1, part 2 of the finale shit. I was like,
yeah, they broke it in half.
I hated that era in movies where I'm like, this didn't need to be 2 movies. This didn't need to be 2 movies.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they did that with that and like Harry Potter and then
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I made my mom take me to see Deathly Hallows in theater, and I was like, this shit did not need to be 2 movies.
No, it didn't. I was like, because nothing happens in the first half, the first movie, whatever.
Yeah. For me, my movie is not really my favorite because I don't know if I have a quintessential favorite horror movie, but this is probably my most inspirational, not just horror movie, but movie in general that I've ever seen. Recently, that came out, Good Boy. I did a video on it.
Okay.
But this movie, the thing that I love about it the most is the ending where the director breaks down the process they went through to film the movie, how it broke down, because essentially this entire horror movie is filmed and directed by 2 people. It is a husband and his wife, and they do the entire movie essentially at home. It felt like a COVID project, but when you watch it, it looks like a feature film that has like people on sets for it and things like that. And they did it with a dog that is untrained. Like, it's just a regular dog. This dog gets not cop. It's has no kind of special training. It's just their regular at-home dog. And they were filming it like at 3 hours at a time because their dog, that's what his schedule was on before he got irritated and stopped fucking with shit. They were using puppets and they were doing from like being a content creator and having aspirations of one day doing a feature film and seeing that, I'm like, oh, so this is possible. Like the big money comes from buying the camera and whatnot and some of the editing software, but they were able to do this feature-length film that was actually a really solid movie. It's not an amazing movie. It's like maybe a solid like 7.5 to an 8, but because it was 2 people made this movie and it was this good and they were able to do this with a dog. Like, I don't know if you guys have even tried to like get dogs on video to do some shit, but like the fact they were able to get a dog to emote emotion and they use this thing that I mentioned in my video called the Skullshoff theory, I believe. I can't remember. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's the idea of juxtaposition to where you're showing something and showing another image, so it manipulates your brain to think of a particular emotion. So you're seeing an image of this dog, and then they'll cut to like food or whatever else. So you're thinking, oh, the dog's hungry or the dog's scared or the dog's gonna miss, but it's like the same emotions, but the editing is tricking your brain into believing certain things because you already want to believe a dog is feeling a certain type of way because animals emote emotions. It was amazing. It was amazingly well done. And I really hope it gives a lot of inspiration for future people that want to make movies. So like you don't have to play the major games of going through Hollywood like Chris Stuckman had to do for years to kind of to get into that whole thing. But you can just do your own thing and then hopefully get the film discovered like that, and kind of like Late Night to the Devil to an extent to where they made the movies, they showed it at film festivals, it got picked up by not Blumhouse, who am I thinking about?
A24?
A24, yeah. They're notorious for like finding movies at film festivals and seeing how good they are and then helping them get a cinematic and like feature film release in theaters, and they end up being amazing movies.
Yeah, because I do want to see.
Talk to Me was like that too. Talk to Me. Talk to Me was at a Australian film festival, I think. But when they saw that, before they gave them the chance to do that,
yeah, because also because again, they were YouTubers. They were before Chris Tuckman. They were the other
brothers,
brothers that made that.
Talk to Me was also fire.
You Talk to Me is great.
It was good to the point where it actually brought me back to watching horror movies because I had given up on it.
Did you see Bring Her Back yet?
Bring Her Back.
That's their second film, and it's really fucking unsettling, honestly. I think it's damn near more unsettling than Talk to Me was. Like it made me like literally cringe in moments of it.
Talk to Me wasn't scary, but I thought it was really good though.
For two people that didn't do any kind of horror on their YouTube channel beforehand, they were just doing like jokes and special effects and shit to go from doing that to doing horror and it being that effective. I'm like,
but their videos were like they were so over the top that they were kind of like you can see they were putting effects and everything. It wasn't like Terrifier, but they were putting effects in their videos. But the thing about Talk to Me, what makes Talk to Me, I do think of it as scary, is the idea, it's the sense of dread. There isn't the danger as much, but it is a palpable sense of dread that the main character is going through throughout the entire movie, and then at the end where she's literally, I mean, we know the whole idea at the end is very just like, wow, you are damned. Also, not to get into spoilers again, but one of the characters, a young, was like 14, 13-year-old boy is like.
The boy, the boy.
She's that's her, but
she's like 17,
maybe 17. She's still in high school, but the young boy is literally. There's a part where he's in hell. It's a worst case scenario of him. It actually shows him what it's like for him in hell being tortured. It's like, this is horrifying. So it's not the traditional horror as far as having monsters pursue like that or what have you, but it is still it's dreadful as hell.
Yeah. I kind of took Talk to Me. I kind of took it as a metaphor for schizophrenia, actually. Like,
it's that for it's definitely.
It was if I remember right from the director's standpoint, it was more so like the idea of grief and letting grief go or letting people go and move on. Because funny enough, their second film, Bring Her Back, is playing on that exact thing because they lost a family friend during the making of that movie. So they played around a lot with like loss and grief in their films.
I didn't know that. Okay, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they give you like a credit like at the end of the movie where they talk about it was like one of their family friends died and they ended up. I don't think they rewrote the whole thing, but they moved around a lot of it to kind of like be a tribute to him in a sort of way.
Damn, that sucks. I mean, that's the same thing with your boy Zach Krieger. They did Weapons. His friend, his partner, basically his writing partner, died, and that inspired him to make Weapons. I know it's still have inspired based around the idea of dealing with alcoholism in his family. Yeah, but the idea that the loss triggered him to make the movie.
Was he drunk when he wrote it?
No. This guy, Otis East.
James Gunn's like that a lot too. Gunn will have like a lot of his character names or like things in the movies are big named after like his friends that passed away. Like he'll have certain tributes to people throughout all his films.
Yeah,
like in every movie he does. Yeah, it's dope. But yeah, The Good Boy, or Good Boy, not The Good Boy, but Good Boy. I highly recommend if you want to support something that was well done. It's amazingly well done. And if you, I
was nervous though because I'm glad you mentioned. I think they put it on there on purpose because they knew it's a dog. So people are like, wait a minute, are they torturing this dog to make this movie? But it's
they let you know before. The director lets everybody know like the dog survives, the dog doesn't die. Everybody's like main worry about watching the movie, and people said they weren't going to go see it because they didn't want to see a dog die.
Yeah,
but the dog does not pass away. And honestly, I came home right after that shit, recorded my video, and just like cuddled my dog for a little bit because I was like,
of course,
like you dream of having a dog as good as Indy in that movie.
His name is Indy. Oh, that's dope.
His name is Indy. Yeah, apparently his name at the Indiana Jones.
That's dope. Oh, damn! Now I gotta break that. Yes, that's not. Now I gotta see even more.
I'll watch it, but I have no orders to have a dog anymore. They're too
needy. Yeah, they're needy as fuck. Especially a puppy. Don't get a puppy.
They're like children. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like kids. Yeah, I love dogs. I still love dogs. To be honest, though. That's great.
No, I love dogs that I can get back. just like children.
Just
Fair enough.
like kids.
Fair
That's
enough.
that's a good choice though. Good choices. The in a broader sense, you said, I think one of y'all said it, or both of y'all said it before, how like Otis mentioned the idea of how horror was brought back where it talked to me, and I know Charlie said it 1,000 times, how it's the new age, the golden era of horror, so to speak. I do love how creative filmmakers are being with horror, because oftentimes it is the lower budget or the kind of the indie artists that are doing it, that are doing a really, really kind of forward-thinking things. I love that we're in that kind of era to do that. I love that there's new icons coming back with horror, with like the Terrifier and even Gladys and weapons and whatnot. So it's regardless of whether you enjoy all these films, Lotus East, there are still plenty of cool ideas to appreciate about the genre in and of itself, and also the idea of being thriller and suspense thriller or horror, whatever it is. It's still the idea of seeing how people deal with dread or danger in some sense. The reason I mentioned how 28 weeks later is my favorite zombie movie is because it from the jump, there's a part where it shows them in extreme danger in a way you don't really see in horror in some movies these days as much. And so I love the idea of actual real legitimate danger, how it's just so effective to use in a movie.
Yeah, horror's been in a good place.
That house got overrun.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree. Horror's in a good place. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was saying probably like I think, at least from my perspective, I think a lot of it kind of came back to life. I think Mike Flanagan probably brought a lot of it back to life for something like Oculus and the stuff he was doing in like the mid 2010s.
Haunted Hill, right?
Oh, Haunting of Hill House. That was on Netflix. That was like
overrated.
That was like the late 2010s. And then obviously, like, again, I think it started with Oculus, goes into that stuff, and then after Oculus and some of the stuff that he was doing, that's when you see the rise of Ari Aster and the rise of
Ari Aster got big.
I'm blanking on buddy's name. Ari Aster, Mike Flanagan, and he's the other big dude. No. Fuck, I was just thinking about it too. Mike Flanagan, Ari Aster.
What's something he's done or he or she's done? You think what movie they've done?
Midsommar and Hereditary.
That's Ari Aster. He did both of those.
Did he do who am I thinking about that?
He did Hereditary and Midsommar.
Mike Flanagan, Ari Aster. So it'll come back to me later. But those, like the rise of the psychological horror films really coming around in like the late 2010s after finishing all the gore porn from the early 2000s with Saw and all that stuff. It kind of breathed a lot of life into it. And then I think it kind of kept it afloat until I think this year with like Sinners debuting and it being like the big sexy horror film. It really made a lot of people pay attention to horror a lot more. All movies coming out this year.
A horror movie.
Which one?
I feel like that's a thriller.
So I mean,
you wake up in a room being told that you have to poke your eye out to get a keep. That's a horror movie, dog. I'm sorry.
It is thriller. It's the gore porn era. Like even Terrifier is the same idea as it's gore porn era. It is considered horror though.
A serial killer kidnapping people and making them mutilate themselves to get it. That's a horror movie. That's like
Is Silence of the Lambs horror?
Yes.
Depending, I mean, it definitely.
I don't consider it to be one.
I don't. That's what it really is. We got to do a whole another episode about that as far as what is horror, what is thriller, or suspense. But I don't know, man.
I don't necessarily. Horror in itself is a genre. Thriller and suspense feel like subgenres within other movies. They don't feel like genres in themselves.
Fair.
Like I don't see anyone make a movie and it be a thriller. It's like an action thriller. It's this thriller. It's that or the third. Nobody ever goes to try to make a thriller movie. You go to make a movie and you add thriller aspects within it. Horror in itself is a genre.
I feel like Silence of the Lambs would be a suspense thriller or a drama thriller.
Yeah. Because also you can have suspense where it's more or less like a detective mystery, but the thriller does have a sense of danger in a way that. Yeah, I don't know how far to go because usually a slasher for me, like now, if I watch Halloween, even with the music and everything, Jamie Lee Curtis, I would still consider that more of a thriller, just like a slasher thriller as opposed to full-on horror. But I know that obviously at the time it was very much just this is horror.
It's also a hindsight thing, and I think the world has gotten a lot more scary. Because to your point, like imagine, like remember when Psycho first came out, that was literally making people pass the fuck out and having childbirths happen because it was. At that point, or again with Halloween was having visceral reactions from people watching it. Like they was so fucking scary to people at that point in time. The shit we've seen in the world now, things just don't seem as scary because you've seen so much of it and the concepts, especially now with things like with forensics and things like that, it's harder for things to seem as believable to get
True-
away with. That's
true
why you're starting to
crime.
see horror become. They're starting to move into like the Gen Z-ification of it a lot, where you're seeing phones become a thing, or in like the chat rooms or stream rooms where there are ghosts haunting those things, because it's something that people can relate to more in this generation versus the traditional slasher.
Yeah, that's fair. I think in a way that it's kind of when it goes back to being old school that it actually becomes more horror, actually being more scary. Even like when he said "Talk to Me," or when for me that brought me back into horror was actually It Follows. I mentioned that earlier. It Follows is kind of the idea of a novel concept. Again, that was a very low budget horror movie that was made with complete no names, and it still worked, even though it wasn't the biggest success story. Long Legs was kind of an innovative horror movie in a way too. It was, or suspense, whatever it might be, that kind of got people thinking about horror
The
again.
Nick
So
Cage movie?
sorry, which one?
The Nick
Nick
Cage
Cage
movie?
movie, Long
The
Legs.
Nick
Yeah,
Cage movie. I mean,
Yeah.
I know. I'm not saying it's good necessarily, whatever it might be, but
that
it's
was
people
fun.
were
It
talking
was
about
pretty.
it.
It was pretty
People were
solid.
talking
It was
about
like a solid
That's
7.
yeah.
Nick
And then
Cage
also
did Nick Cage things. He was good.
well, then and he's
Like-
he's 100% Nick Cage. But you have Jordan Peele. Like, I mean, Jordan Peele. Let's be honest. Jordan Peele got an Oscar for writing a horror, more or less
A horror
suspense
comedy.
Horror. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure what you want to consider that exactly, but he became an innovator in the world of horror, so to speak. People don't say suspense thriller with Jordan Peele; they say horror with Jordan Peele. So it's horror has had a very much a.
It's just I think a lot of it's the narrative too. People like to put like with Sinners. People don't consider Sinners a horror movie.
They don't?
Because whatever. Yeah, a lot of people don't. That was like the big thing I've heard everywhere, is that people don't think it's a horror film because you have other aspects like music and things like that within it. It's annoying. But again, that goes into my whole thing about putting things in a box. Horror is a genre. Suspense, thriller is not a genre. They're more so like adjectives or like parts of other movies. Like you put suspense in a movie. Like a movie can be suspenseful, but it's not a suspense movie.
So what do you?
I feel like suspense movies are a genre.
What do you consider? This is a bigger question, I guess. Maybe hard. We had to do a whole episode possible. That's fine. But what do y'all consider, in your opinions, horror in and of itself? Horror.
Like I brought up earlier, it's you trying to make somebody feel uncomfortable or fearful of a particular message or concept.
But you can't. Suspense in of itself can do that too. Like I mean, like you mentioned, Silence of the Lambs. This is the
but it's more so of a trait. Like it's a trait more so than a whole movie in itself. Like when you're leaving someone in suspense, you're leaving somebody on the edge of their seat through the scene, through the music, through whatever. Like multiple things built up that suspenseful moment in a film. But you don't go like when I ask you if you're making a movie and I ask you what kind of a movie you're trying to make, you don't say I'm trying to make a suspense movie. It's usually action, horror, comedy, drama. Like you don't say suspense. There's a reason there's no suspense. There's a reason whenever you go to like the Oscars or any kind of award show, suspense movie isn't a category of movie.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I mean, horror is the
horror is a category.
Until more recently.
I do think
that's more so because people looked at horror as a lowbrow thing. They didn't. It's like, well, I was gonna say like porn, but that's a whole different conversation.
That's another different.
But yeah, people
that's a category too. That's a category. Trust me, that's a category. But yeah. I think thriller is a category. I'm pretty sure it actually is a category too. I think it is.
Is it? I mean, we can look it up in a little bit. We can make a whole video out of it. We can look it up, but
yeah,
I don't ever recall like a thriller movie award or like that being a category any kind of.
No, I don't. I don't think. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's a thriller award. I don't think there's that. But I do think there's a category for thriller. Because even like for example, the movie called I know you haven't seen it, but it's a movie called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. The whole idea of it is it's about a woman kind of infiltrating a family and doing her stuff. And if you look it up on Hulu, it just says for the genre, it just says thriller. So it is somewhat of a category. I'm aware of.
I think a movie Bone Collector, Phone Booth, Falling.
Oh, the Denzel movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Is that what he's like an angel or like angels around or something like that?
Opposite. It's a demon. It's a demon.
Okay.
Like those are thrillers to me.
Yeah, those seem like
that seems like a horror movie with some bop in it to me. I ain't gonna hold you, but I feel you.
It's interesting. So yeah, we'll
Fallen is not a horror movie.
Which one, Otis? Which one?
Fallen, like Denzel Washington.
No,
not a horror movie.
I wouldn't say that. We'll come back to this. This will be another whole episode dedicated to kind of figuring out the genre or what. Yeah, because that sounds. It's a much bigger conversation. I think
we gotta get out of here because I got to see the Lakers play.
That's talk about horror. That's a horror story
there. Not too much. Not too much.
Without LeBron.
Not too much, y'all. Anyway, y'all, this has been another episode of the Then and Out podcast. Do you guys have any other anything you want to promote or plug that's coming up before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I know these guys are gonna see it. I'm gonna see Chainsaw Man. I do think of Chainsaw Man as a fun thriller. Wait, real quick. Made in Abyss, the anime Made in. I know y'all have seen that. Made in Abyss. That's horror. It's right up there with Promised Neverland. It's kids dealing with like
for sure, man.
It's children dealing with like insane. It's like that's horror, right?
That's definitely horror. 100%. Like
you say, you think it's horror?
Horror.
Yeah,
he said he considers it horror.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
I'll do some more research into it. I'll do some more research like for the official like terminology and what's been officially thing, but yeah. But again, this has been another episode of the Then and Out podcast. If you guys, want to talk to us about any of the opinions or thoughts in the show, or even if you have your own opinion on what a horror movie is, let us know in the comment section below. This has been Captain Diesel, Lelouch Fee, and Professor E. King of the Comics. Remember, forever and always.
You're listening to the Then and Now podcast.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
That last